Hello guys, hello, happy Friday everyone, happy Friday. Just a few updates. Let me tune a few folks in quickly. Just a few updates on Clark, Atlanta student Alexis Crawford. Hello. Just a few updates on Clark, Atlanta student Alexis Crawford. Yes, DJ. When you done your can you give me some lemonade? Happy Friday. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Just a quick update on missing student from Atlanta Clark University, Alexis Crawford. They have found her body in a park today. They have found the remains of Alexis Crawford, who went missing in Atlanta, Georgia today, in DeKalb County. They have the warrants issued for 2 suspects, actually her roommate and her roommate's boyfriend. Apparently on October the 26th, Alexis made a report she made a report on her roommate's boyfriend of some inappropriate touching and things of that nature. And 2 days later, she went missing. But they found her body today. And like I said, they have issued arrest warrants for 2 suspects, a girl and a guy, her roommate and her roommate's boyfriend. They have arrest warrants for the both of them. They are still in the search of 5-year-old Taylor Rose Williams. The last that I've heard of her earlier, they conducted a search. They're looking through trash. They're looking through a lot of stuff for this 5-year-old child. Come to find out, there has been some inconsistencies in her mom's story. They had actually just recently moved, last Sunday, they moved from Paradise Island to Brentwood, where Taylor was reported missing. Mysteriously, she just went missing in the middle of the night. Like I said, they have found out today, reading through some articles and everything, they have found out that it has been some inconsistencies in her mom's story. So stay tuned for that, okay? Information is still unfolding on that. Like I said, they did a search. They have not posted yet if they have found Taylor yet. So as of yet, the last that I know, they have not found her as of yet. So please keep this child in your prayers. 5-year-old Taylor Rose Williams, missing from Florida. It's a lot going on, y'all. Like I said, these missing persons reports are piling up. There are some different things going on. There's levels to the missing, so it's been different stories, with these missing persons, different reasons on why these people are going missing. It's just been a lot going on. But when it comes to Clark, Atlanta student Alexis Crawford, this seemed like this was something going on with her roommate and her roommate's boyfriend, because they have issued arrest warrants for those 2. So something happened in the mix of that. So I'm pretty sure we will get updates on that pretty soon. But yeah, they have found her remains. I was hoping, you know, we always hoping for a great outcome, even though a lot of times, you know, these outcomes haven't been so great. We did have a great outcome last Saturday. We found Lanaya Sutton last Saturday. She was found located safe. So that was a great outcome. But then, you know, a couple of weeks before that, you know, we got a bad outcome on 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney, as well as 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams. So it's been a lot going on, y'all, in the missing and murdered community. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of senseless deaths due to, you know, gun violence. We're coming towards the end of the year, and it's just been a lot going on. You know, these families have suffered a lot. It's been a bad year for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Suffering loss and, you know, still dealing with hurt and pain. I know, you know, that a lot of us can't wait for the new year to come, you know, and to start over new, because it's been a really bad year for a lot of us. You know, it's been a bad year for these children, because we have lost an awful amount of children, you know, by the hands of their parents. You know, it hasn't been a lot of great outcomes with these children who have went missing. You know, there have been 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, you know, kidnapped, you know, found dead, you know, in landfills and everything. It's been a lot going on. And these kids have suffered a great deal this year. They really have. And I'm just, you know, just trying to figure out what can we do to stop all of this. You know, I know one thing's for sure, two things for certain, that we do need to concentrate on getting some laws put into place, because, you know, just doing a lot of research and looking at some of these cases, had there been laws put into place, we would have different outcomes. You know, maybe we wouldn't even have a lot of this stuff going on now. You know, I know a lot of times and a lot of reasons why, you know, the big reason why this stuff is going on, because it's really no repercussions. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people are getting caught. You know, some of them are not. You know, we have a lot of missing people. You know, we have a lot of cold cases. You know, we're still in the search of RELISHA RUDD. It breaks my heart, you know, every time I mention that child's name, because, you know, we have found a lot of children this year. We have found a lot of children this year. And to know that we have been searching for this baby for 5 years and still have not, you know, found her yet. It's heartbreaking. It really is. It is very heartbreaking. You know, I look at how, you know, the community came together and they found Cupcake McKinney. You know, how the community came together and they're looking for Taylor Williams today. Like, the community, people came from all over Florida to help look for that little girl. You know what I'm saying? And they have been finding these children, but they have not found RELISHA yet. They have not found RELISHA yet. And it just breaks my heart. You know, and I know that the police haven't given up looking for her. I know that, you know, but it's just the fact that, you know, we haven't found her yet. We haven't been able to locate her, you know, dead or alive. That's heartbreaking. And to know that a lot of these families are getting closure, you know, and we have not gotten closure yet. This has been like a 5-year mystery. Where is RELISHA RUDD? You know, and like I said, you know, the whole thing just didn't stop, you know, with Khalil Tatum and his wife, you know what I'm saying, demise. It just didn't stop there. You know, and it's like, okay, they're gone, and, you know, it's nobody else to be brought up on charges, but that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Like, we should know by now where RELISHA is by now. We should. We should know where that child is by now. How come it's taking so long? How come, you know, I see these communities coming together, even with Malaya Davis, when she went missing. You know, Houston came together. They came together and they did not stop until she was found. You know? And here we are 5 years later, and we haven't found RELISHA yet. And I can't understand that to save my life. You know, what is the missing piece? What are we, you know, what is it that we are overlooking when it comes to RELISHA's case? You know what I'm saying? I sit back and I try to analyze the whole thing and try to figure it out, you know, go through the whole case, you know, read over the timeline of her disappearance. You know what I'm saying? I know that going through all of that, reading all of that stuff, I know that it's other people that know what happened to her. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know that there are other people that knows what happened to RELISHA. You know, but what I can't understand is, you know, how come we have not found her as of yet? You know, why has it been a 5-year mystery, you know, of her disappearance? How come no one else has been arrested in her disappearance? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? What is that missing piece? What are we overlooking when it comes to RELISHA's disappearance? Okay? You know, those are the questions that, you know, I have been asking myself, you know, especially here lately, because like I said, you know, we haven't had very great outcomes here lately with finding these children, you know, but these families have gotten closure, you know, and when RELISHA went missing, you know, that affected a lot of people in the DMV area, basically all over the world, because everybody, you know, knows about RELISHA. You know, people are asking questions. People want to know, you know, what happened to her. You know, it's like a mystery. You know, so I just ask all the time, like, what is that missing piece? What is we overlooking when it comes to RELISHA's disappearance? What is, you know, is it a place that we didn't look, you know, that's connected, you know, to this whole thing? I know he killed his wife in a hotel, the Red Roof Inn out in Oxon Hill. Was that area searched properly? You know what I'm saying? You know, was, you know, along the highways and the byways, was that searched? You know, was it some other places that he frequent, you know, that the police might know and we just haven't searched yet? Like, what is that one thing that we're missing when it comes to RELISHA's disappearance? It's just one of those questions, like I said, I ask myself all the time, you know. And I see how, you know, all of the people, I see how all of the people, you know, have gotten together in these different situations, like with Malaya Davis, with Cupcake McKinney. You know what I'm saying? Just different situations, you know, where the community have came together and they have, you know, searched until they got closure. You know, but why? How come we haven't found RELISHA yet? You know, what is so different in her case that's, you know, that's keeping us from finding her when You know, like I said, with Cupcake's case, it was a lot of stuff going on. You know, it took them 10 days to find her, but they found her. You know, it took them actually, you know, maybe like 2-3 months to find Nevaeh Adams, but they found her too. You know, I mean, I know they had some idea what happened to her, just like I'm pretty sure, you know, Metropolitan Police Department has some type of idea of what happened to RELISHA. Like, isn't it someone like that they can be putting the press on right now? Like, we can't just, you know, just let this just go on. And then when it gets to a certain amount of time, like when it comes up on, I think it's 7 years, then they say, okay, well, most likely RELISHA is dead than alive. And then they would treat it as a homicide, but and still don't have her body. You know what I'm saying? But what is the missing piece? What is the missing link to the disappearance of RELISHA Rhodes? How come we have not found her yet? How come, you know, no one else has been arrested? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things I feel like, even though there's not a lot of laws put into place on that, you know what I'm saying, that would benefit that situation, but there are still some laws that have been broken when it comes to the disappearance of that little girl. Like I said, that child just didn't wind up in that man's life. He didn't just walk into her life and just was, you know, was taking her. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just take her. You know, he might have at the end taken her after he did everything that he did to her. You know, I mean, we saw the god-awful video of them walking down the hallway of the Holiday Inn. We saw that. You know what I'm saying? That was basically like the last time known, you know, sighting of RELISHA. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's something else that I feel that could be done in this situation. It has been 5 years, for God's sake. You know? You see some of the family members and everything, they are just walking through life, you know, going through life as if nothing happened. It's like we could just, you know, sweep this situation under the rug and just never even think about it again. This is something that is on the hearts of a lot of us. Like I said, worldwide. This is on the hearts of people worldwide when it comes to the disappearance of RELISHA Rudd. Because for one thing, it was a very heartbreaking story. You know, to know that this child was in a situation where she should have and could have been protected had people been doing their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Had somebody stepped up and said, no, you're not supposed to be taking this child from here. You know what I'm saying? Someone reporting, you know, seeing her mom allowing this man to take this baby wherever, you know what I'm saying, he wanted to take her. You know what I'm saying? The fact that she had been missing for 30 days from school. Like, she literally did not come to school for 30 days and no one made no noise. You know what I'm saying? It took over 30 days before somebody even made some noise about her not even coming to school. Like, where did this go wrong at? And we can't just sweep the situation under the rug and act as though nothing has happened. Because it's a troubling thing to think about. You know, we have an innocent child, you know what I'm saying, 8 years old at the time, you know, that really didn't stand a chance. Every time that she was in a situation and cried out for help, she was failed. Like, do y'all understand that? Like, every time, like when the social workers came to her house in 2007 and they saw the situation going on, she was failed. when the social workers came back again in 2010 and saw even more kids in a worse situation, she was failed. When the shit was going on inside of that DC General Homeless Shelter, and people had all of these stories to say about her disappearance and everything after she, after she was kidnapped, by this man, everybody had a story to tell. Even the people that worked there. These are people that was hired to help the people in that situation. These are homeless people, vulnerable situation. We have a man that is, he's responsible for RELISHA's disappearance, and he worked there. And we have all of these people, like I said, with these stories, the social workers, the security guards. Like, I have talked to different people who have worked there. And they have had all of these stories to tell. After the fact, after this child has went missing. You understand what I'm saying? This child was like in a situation where she should have never went through something like that. Like, she should have never went through something like that. We failed her. The people that were supposed to protect her failed her. The school. People had different stories. I mean, people could say, her head was matted down. She was hungry. People had all these stories to tell. After this child, went missing. After this situation happened with her. People had all of these horrific stories to tell about this child. But nobody did anything, to prevent the situation from happening. Nobody opened their mouth and said anything. You know what I'm saying? And now, like I said here, 5 years later, we have a child that's been missing, that has been failed miserably. And it's so sad. They're finding these children. These families are getting closure. These communities are getting closure. To watch, Camille Cupcake McKinney's disappearance and everything, and to see how black people unite, how people, I'm not even going to say black people, I'm going to say how the people of Birmingham, Alabama came together, and they searched, and they did everything that they could to make sure that they found that baby. And now, we have some that's acting a fool, that's got a lot of things to say, but then we have the majority of Birmingham, Alabama. They're embracing the McKinney family. They're embracing the mom. They're embracing the dad. Cupcake's little brother. You know what I'm saying? I saw a press conference with Nevaeh Adams' father. Just to see him and the hurt and the shock that he went through, identifying. He was like in complete denial. He wanted further testing, everything. Because I know that has to be a hurting thing to experience. So I just been asking myself this question, why we can't find RELISHA. Like, why we can't find her. DC is not but so big. Did we search every place that we should have searched for her? Is there some stuff, that the police might know, and like, well, nah, this, that just sounds far off. Like, we should be, turning over every fucking rock looking for this child. We should have found her by now. I just don't understand. People should be arrested, and they should have been the pressure put on them. Did they search the Oxon Hill area surrounding the hotel? Did they? You know what I'm saying? Was any of that done? Did they search aquatic gardens? You know what I'm saying? Is it some places that, that they have not searched in aquatic gardens? Like, why we haven't found her yet? Why did the bus stop with Khalil Tatum and his wife? Those are not the only two people responsible. They're not. Those are not the only two people. They're not here. I'm pretty sure that the police know some things. You know what I'm saying? But why haven't other people been arrested? Why haven't the press been put on people? How come, because when Camille went missing, when the other kids went missing, they automatically blamed the parents. In a lot of them situations, they were right. And they got closure. Well, we have parents that's responsible for the child's disappearance because, like I said, Tatum just didn't take RELISHA. He didn't do, what happened to Cupcake didn't happen to RELISHA. He didn't just come and just snatch her from a birthday party or just snatched her from off the street. This man was having contact with this child. This man had permission to have this child. And just because a person lied to you and tell you no, it's just been a whole lot of stuff going on. It's been lie after lie with, family members. Like the story has not been consistent at all. Even with that, why nobody else was arrested for RELISHA's disappearance? I believe we would have found her by now. It just looks like we don't give a fuck. That's what it looks like. It looks like our law enforcement don't give a fuck because, like I said, the other Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas, they did not pull no stops till they found them children. It did not take them 5 years to find Malia. It did not take them 6 months to find her. Houston, Texas is a big place. And not only didn't find her in Houston, Texas, they found her all the way in a whole different damn state. What, 30 days? Within 30 days or something, they found that child? Found out what happened to her, arrested people and everything. How come we have not found RELISHA? What is going on with that? Why isn't nobody making no noise about that? She was a human being. When are we going to stand up for this baby? When are we going to make some noise about getting some closure to our baby's disappearance? That was our child. She became our child. Why we're not making no noise about that? I just don't understand that. How come we have not found RELISHA? Why? Why? Yes, this man has died. Yes, he has killed his wife. But it was other people that was involved in this. How come we haven't found her? How come other people have not been arrested? Like, this shit is really bothering me. It really is. Like I said, I'm happy for these families when they get closure. I really am. But it still makes me sad to know that these children are being found and RELISHA has not been found after 5 years. Like, what is wrong? It's mind-blowing. It really is. To know that, no one else has been arrested. We have not found RELISHA yet. Yes, they are looking at every lead that they get and everything, but like I said, there's other things that could have been done. There are people that's supposed to be arrested. Someone took a forged letter to the school signed by Khalil Tatum as Dr. Tatum. Why that person is not arrested? That person knows what happened, at least that they was taking a forged letter to the school. They knew the reason why they took that forged letter to the school and why they had that man sign his name as the doctor. Why wasn't that person arrested? Why are we looking at her mom as a victim, instead of a suspect? Like the laws in DC are not that fucked up. Think about it. Think about this. Why we haven't found RELISHA yet? Don't y'all think that it should have been people arrested? Don't y'all think that we should have found her by now? If they're looking in landfills and other parts of a state and they're finding children and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Don't y'all think we should have found RELISHA by now? Don't y'all think that the press should have been put down more on family members than it was that we would found her by now? Like, why? Why haven't we found her? I just really believe that, like I said, because that child had been failed so bad. She had been failed so bad. Even with those people that worked at the homeless shelter. She was failed by those people as well that worked at the homeless shelter. The people that knew what was going on. The people that had all of the stories to say about her. That seen this man taking his child back and forth. Knew that this man was spending time with this baby. How come we have not found RELISHA yet? What the hell is going on with this? And we finding all these other kids. Like I said, we're finding children. And it's not no good outcomes, but the families are getting closure. The communities are getting closure. Yes, the communities are getting closure. We haven't gotten closure in 5 years. I know a lot of us think about this child all the time. I know I do. I think about her all the time. Like I said, every time I'm researching one of these missing person cases or I'm looking through one of these missing person cases, I'm thinking about that child. Every time I see a press conference where they done found another child, they done got closure for another family, another community, I think about that child. I think about RELISHA. Yes, shut my door. I think about that. I really do. I know a lot of you all think about that as well. But we're going to have to make some noise about it because, like I said, it's something else. It's other people that are responsible for this child. For us even knowing about this. We shouldn't even know about this child in this way. We shouldn't even know RELISHA at all. None of this should be going on right now. We should not be experiencing this. No one should be experiencing this with their child. Community should not be experiencing this. This is a hard thing. I'm pretty sure every advocate who has ever shared her story, every advocate who has ever shared her story feel the same way. I'm pretty sure they feel like, this is something sad. Every time they find a child, every time, we help bring closure to one of these families, it's always that question in the back of my mind. How come we have not found RELISHA? What are we doing wrong? What is the missing piece? What are those? I look at those states and the laws that they have in place and everything. And it's no different than ours. It's nothing no different than ours. I mean, it's not like they found Cupcake McKinney because the people told them where her body was at. And they had arrested people and everything. And they still did not get them to confess, but they still found her. Right? So, you know what I'm saying? How come we haven't found RELISHA? What is the missing piece? What is out there, you know what I'm saying, that we don't know about? What is, you know, what can lead us to her? Where her, you know, to her whereabouts? Why haven't other people been arrested? That's just the biggest question that I have. Like, it was other people responsible for this child's disappearance. How come they was not arrested? There's people out here, you know, that's responsible for this baby disappearance. They walking around here living their best life. Pretty soon, March the 1st, 2020, we will be coming up on 6 years. 7 years, like I said, then they can actually say, I think it's 7 or 8 years for DC, where, you know, by law, they can actually say, well, RELISHA is most likely dead than alive. But by law, they can only do it, I think, 7 or 8 years. Like some of these cases wind up going through the changes, and they still have not found the body. Look at Pamela Butler, who went missing. I think it was 2009 when she went missing. And years later, they did arrest, you know, her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? But they basically could not say, you know, that she was actually deceased, even though they knew it until after 8 years passed. Then they, you know, they could say that Pamela Butler is most likely dead than alive. Same thing with RELISHA RUDD. And I think that's what's going to happen, because it's like, I just don't understand how come they haven't arrested other people. I'm just, you know, I'm just puzzled by that. You know, how come we haven't found her after all this time? And they finding these kids left and right. They finding closure for the families left and right. It's not good things, not good outcomes, but closure. That's what a lot of these families want. They just want closure. It's got to be a hard thing to be looking for your loved one, not knowing if they alive or dead, holding on to hope that they're alive. You know what I'm saying? You hold on to hope that they're alive, but you don't know, you know, as time goes by, you don't know if they are alive or dead. And then you, after time goes by, you begin to lose hope. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you begin, you know, some families begin to lose hope. And they just want to know. Some of them lose fight, you know, because it's just a hard thing to deal with. That's got to be a hurting thing. You know, it's a hurting thing when you lose a loved one, you know, to violence, or your loved one dies. You know what I'm saying? Because a violent death is always an unexpected death. No one is prepared, no family is prepared for death, in a sense, especially violent deaths. You know, no family is ever prepared for that. You know, I read an article today where a mom in Philadelphia has lost 3 children to gun violence. She just lost her last child October the 31st on Halloween. Her last 18-year-old son was gunned down coming out of a Chinese carryout. She buried 2 sons in 2009. One of them was murdered November the 1st. 2009. The other one was murdered 9 days later, November the 10th, 2009. She had a funeral for two of her sons laid side by side. That had to be a hurting thing. To bury two sons in the same day, to lose two sons 10 days apart, 9 days apart, to lose two sons. And then, you know, her son was a little boy at the time. You know, her last son that she just lost, who was just gunned down on Halloween, she just laid him to rest. So it's like, that had to be a hurting thing, you know what I'm saying, to deal with. It's just horrible, you know. Y'all pray for these families, you know. Pray for these families. Pray for the family of Taylor Williams. Pray for the family of Alexis Crawford. Just imagine what her family is going through right now. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, we're coming into the Thanksgiving holidays, and now the family of Alexis Crawford is planning a funeral. Planning a funeral right here, weeks away from Thanksgiving. I know that's got to be a horrible thing. And when people sit around the table and give thanks to the things that they're thankful of, my God, just imagine what that's going to be like. You know? Just the suffering that these families are going to go through. It's going to be some horrible, you know, it's going to be some really sad Thanksgiving tables in America. It really is going to be a lot of sad Thanksgiving tables, a lot of families suffering this Thanksgiving. Then Christmas coming up. We have lost so many children this year. It's going to be a lot of people suffering. Pray for these families, y'all. And y'all be safe out there. It's Friday. I know a lot of y'all want to go have y'all a good time and everything. I was planning on going out, but I said, you know what? I'm going to stay in tonight. And I'm going to do some research. Should I got a nice bar? You know what I'm saying? If I want to, you know, I can turn it into an outing right in my house. So that's what I plan on doing, and just preparing for tomorrow's show. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow to Black Roses Garden Community Radio, starting at 4 p.m. We're going to, you know, do a lot of talking tomorrow. There's been a lot of things going on. Discuss some of these cases. Discuss some prevention. Okay? And like I said, hug and love your kids. Protect them. And be safe. Okay? But enjoy yourself. All right? Signing out.